Notre Dame, Indiana. The Irish 35-14 victory over number 14 North Carolina State was maybe 5 minutes old, if that. Junior running back Josh Adams, he of the burgeoning Heisman campaign bearing his uniform number 33 trucking, was asked to describe number 9 Notre Dame's mindset. Adams offered one word to all inside the stadium: dominating. It certainly fit Saturday, just as much as it did last week. This might start to sound familiar, perhaps even repetitive, though still welcome to Irish fans. For the second consecutive week, the Irish welcomed a top 15 opponent to Notre Dame Stadium. For the second consecutive week, they did not turn over the ball, they wore down the opposing defense, and they never allowed the offense to find a rhythm. "We don't talk about winning," Irish coach Brian Kelly said afterward. "Winning is not even part of our vocabulary. We didn't talk about winning any games this year. It's about the mindset that we've created to dominate our opponent. Winning is not even part of the equation with this group." As much as a 35-point afternoon against one of the nation's toughest defensive fronts deserves notice, the Notre Dame defense's ability to shut down the Wolfpack attack possibly warrants even more. North Carolina State scored only one offensive touchdown, the other coming on a punt block recovered in the end zone. Adjusting for sacks, it rushed for 56 yards on 23 carries, a mere 2.4 yards per carry, and gained all of 263 total yards. "It's got to be one of our best performances in some time defensively," Kelly said. "A lot of respect for North Carolina State. That's a good football team, but our team was up to the task today." Turning point of the game. Coming out of halftime trailing 21-14, the Wolfpack received the opening kickoff and commenced marching down the field. A 9-yard Ryan Finley completion followed a 12-yard run by senior Jalen Samuels. 2 plays later, the senior Finley connected with sophomore receiver Kelvin Harmon for 20 yards to cross into Irish territory. 6 plays and 38 yards brought up a 3rd and 10. North Carolina State opted for strategy and a hard count. The hope was to draw Notre Dame offsides and take a shot downfield. Worst case scenario, the Wolfpack would cut the 3rd and long to 3rd and 5. "We had a hard count called, with no play called," North Carolina State coach Dei-Vem said. "Just something that a lot of spread teams do. If they jump, we snap it, roll out, take a shot." Senior center Garrett Bradbury thought the Irish jumped. Perhaps junior defensive tackle Jerry Tillery moved, but he stayed shy of the neutral zone, meaning he was not offsides. Bradbury thought otherwise, snapped the ball, and the Wolfpack line stayed in its pre-snap pose, trying to emphasize the presumed penalty. No flag was thrown. "I can't criticize the officials unless you want to pay the fine for me," Doran said. "I can't. I'd love to tell you what I thought, but I'm not going to do that." Thinking he had a free play, Finley threw a 15-yard pass toward Harmon. At this point, that theoretical worst-case scenario should be revised to something much more drastic. Notre Dame's sophomore cornerback Julian Love jumped the route and, thanks to a convoy from sophomore defensive end Dalen Hayes and senior linebacker Niles Morgan, proceeded 69 yards for a touchdown. Love admitted he wondered if the Irish had jumped offsides, but he still played to the whistle, especially when the opposing quarterback has yet to throw an interception this season and the chance to snap that streak was suddenly presented. "It was definitely on my mind, all of our minds," Love said. "But we weren't going to do anything extra. We were going to play our game and play how we've been training." Playing that game gave Notre Dame a 14-point lead when North Carolina State thought it had set up a free shot toward the end zone. Overlooked point of the game. Following Love's touchdown, Samuels returned the ensuing kickoff to the Irish 42-yard line. A quick score would put the Wolfpack right back into the game with the majority of the second half remaining. Again, Finley led a methodical drive. This time, a near turnover did it in. On a 2nd and 9 from the 14-yard line, a snap caught Finley off guard. Samuels picked it up and looped around a few defenders to avoid a 10 or 15-yard loss, but the play still cost 8 yards. Finley then completed a bubble screen for 16, bringing up a 4th and 1. Down 2 touchdowns, Doran opted to go for it. Irish freshman defensive tackle Myron Tagabe-Aloa-Amosa beat his block at the point of attack, and junior linebacker Tevin Coney used that aid to bring down Samuels for a loss of 1 and a change of possession. "I thought we would get the first and score a touchdown," Doran said. "That was a big play against us. It's like a turnover." Notre Dame's offense managed only 9 yards in a 3-and-out, but the Irish defense's stop in its own red zone halted the last North Carolina State threat of the day. Plays of the game. Most NFL receivers, not to mention ballerinas, would be envious of the body control displayed by fifth-year tight end Durham Smythe on an 11-yard reception in the second quarter. For being a speedster, sophomore receiver Kevin Stepherson showed an equally impressive toe tap play later on an 11-yard touchdown reception to give Notre Dame the 21-14 lead it would carry into halftime. In finding Smythe, Irish junior quarterback Brandon Wimbush, who finished with 104 yards and 2 touchdowns on 10 of 19 passing, worked through his progressions past Stepherson and past junior Equanimous St. Brown. He stayed patient, not taking off to try to run for the needed 6 yards on 3rd down. Finally, he spotted Smythe approaching the sideline. "I was extremely confident when I caught the ball," Smythe said. "There's always that little seed of doubt when they bring the review, but luckily I looked up at the video board and was assured